Hiya, how's it going? I'm the Cunning Man, thanks for joining me. So, two things before I start the video. The first thing being that I'm going to try to do everything for this week's video on my phone. So I've got an iPhone 16, apparently very good for making videos. I've gone and bought some little bit of extra kit. If you've been watching my shorts, you'll understand why. So I've got some lavalier mics and tripods and stuff like that. Did a load of research and found that actually your phone is a good tool in order to make videos, but also that I'm going to experiment with editing it on my phone and publishing it on my phone. So that's the first thing. So bear with me. Hopefully from here, the quality of the videos will improve. The action cameras, the Drift Ghosts and the GoPros, are brilliant for on the bike, mounted to the helmet and mounted to the handlebars, but they're not very good for other things. They got very direction sensitive mics and so on. And you'll notice from the camping video, some of the audio was rubbish. So I'm hoping to improve that by, if I'm doing vloggy stuff to the camera like this, I'm going to use my phone and I'm going to edit it all together. So that's thing number one. Thing number two is I'm actually late making this video. It's Wednesday when this is coming out on a Thursday. And I was really struggling to think about what I was going to do for the video. So bear with me and hopefully I'll be able to explain. So I thought what I would do is run you through some projects that I'm going to be undertaking during the winter in my shed. Not this shed. That wouldn't make a very good workshop, would it? My workshop looks like this. So, I've got a big old workspace, and I thought I would run you through a couple of bits and pieces that I've currently got on the go and why we're going to need to be working on them. So basically, we're coming up to the winter, and in winter you can't really go off having adventures and so on, can you? It becomes very, very difficult. So we're going to spend a bit of time catching up on some bits and pieces, doing some work, but this is the stuff for the cold weather stuff. So bear with me and I'll run you through exactly what it is we've got going on, and then maybe even talk about some stuff that we've got planned for the future as well. So this is my wife's Royal Enfield Bullet, affectionately known as Basil. Basil's got a little electrical issue at the moment that means that his battery keeps going flat. So job number two. Job number one is my Harley Davidson. Now I've spoken about it on the channel quite a few times, but as of yet, you haven't really seen me riding it. And those of you that are observant will notice that the regulator rectifier is off it. So the first thing that I did, which you will have seen in a couple of the shorts, is that I changed these silencers back to standard silencers. And I'll be honest with you, there's been a couple of issues with this bike where it maybe hasn't been maintained the best that it possibly could be. So did all of that work, started to get it all sorted out, and then I found that it wasn't charging its battery. Now I assume that it's the regulator rectifier, right? If it's not, then we may need to look at switching the alternator or something like that on it. But I've got a regulator rectifier on order, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to look at that and maybe sort it out before the end of this video. Then we come over this way and we have got a little Kawasaki ER5. Now some of you looking at it may be going, oh, that looks in really good nick. I can see that the seat isn't on it, but other than that, it's absolutely fine. And this is midway through a restoration. Now I've mentioned that my little brother, he's an exceptionally talented painter. And he's painted this bike for me, and it's lovely. You can't really see it, I don't think, in this light, but it's like a pearl color to the paint, and it's absolutely stunning paintwork on it, to the point where this isn't a sticker, that's painted on, and these are painted on. And if you look, it's actually slightly better than even the Kawasaki stickers. Slightly better font and slightly better colouring and all the rest of it. And this is actually a special Kawasaki colour that they only ever really used for trim colours, but we liked it so much we thought we would paint the bike in this colour. Now then, the reason why this is still under restoration is if you look in there, the tank is grotty and rusty and really not doing particularly well at all. So that's the last job that I need to do on this bike before we get it running and take it for its MOT, and then it becomes Al's bike that she takes back and forth to work and her second bike, which she's very enthusiastic about. What I would say is, you know about that I've got Lou, the Himalayan, and you know that I've got this Harley Davidson. Well, Al's got this bullet here, and she's got her ER5 restoration project going on, but then she's also got this little monster, and this bike is really affectionately known as George. And this was Alison's first ever bike, a little SR125 that she passed her test on, and then, well, she rode around on for 2 years on it and then passed her test. And when she passed her test, he then got relegated to the bike that was in the shed for breakdowns and to cover any other issues and so on. And he served very well for a few years like that, and he got lent out to some people that were learning to pass the bike test and so on. And then, well, he developed a little bit of an issue. So, as you can see, he hasn't got an exhaust pipe on him. So the exhaust pipe was taken off, and then he kind of got relegated and pushed back in jobs terms. And he got pushed back into the other shed, that little metal shed that I was messing about in front of earlier. So he is in desperate need of a full restoration, and that's going to be a winter project that me and the Cunning Woman, we're going to take on together. So she can learn a little bit about stripping bikes down and rebuilding them, and we can get this bike back in absolute tip-top condition, because she never wants to sell him. She doesn't want to get rid of him, absolutely loves this bike, but he can't stay in this condition. So he's going to get restored, and then he's going to get loved, and he's going to get ridden very occasionally, but he's going to be polished a lot. So that is why this bike is on the bike lift, ready to sort of start the restoration process. The only other thing in terms of projects is that this bike will be going to my brother for a paint job over the winter. So that's something to look forward to. And also, this bike is going to be getting a paint job over the winter as well. So the order of things should be: regulator on this, get that sorted. Sort the electrical issue out on this, get that sorted. Clean the petrol tank, sort the carburetors out, get this bike running, get it MOT'd, sorted, just before the really cold weather sets in, and we can set radiators and heaters up here, and we can sort this bike out. Okay. So, I think you'll agree, some ambitious stuff going on. Hopefully, you'll enjoy watching me mess around in here as much as you enjoy watching me mess around out and about on the bikes. We will also still be going out and having some adventures over the winter, but obviously can't do as much. So, yeah, that's the plan. So I hope you like it. I hope the video comes out well. And just as a little bit of a treat and to demonstrate maybe what we can look forward to, I'm going to put the regulator on this because it's just been delivered, and we're going to see if it solved the problem. So this is the new rectifier, and this is an electrical tester. Now, let me just quickly park my bum. So this is the old rectifier, and the first thing we're going to do is check that the cables are the same. So yes, and yes. Now then, a motorcycle, when it's working properly, should have a charge of about 12.5 to 13 volts in the battery when the bike isn't running. And when the bike is running, it should be between 13.5 and 14.5 volts. That tells you that the voltage coming out of the alternator is being regulated by the regulator and is going back within a safe volume range to effectively charge the battery. Now, when I tried this on the weekend, I started it up and it was 12.5 at the battery before startup. And then when I started it up, it was 12.5 at the battery. So something is causing a lack of charging. The most likely culprit is going to be the regulator rectifier. However, it may be that the alternator's gone. So what I'm going to do before I attach this and fit it to the bike properly, I'm just going to connect it to the connectors and then start the bike and see what the charging voltage is. So it's very simple with these. There's two connectors that very simply push in to very simply push into the relevant connector ports. There's that one that goes around there, and then there should be a square one. Now you're going to have to bear with me. Excuse my bottom while I go out of the shot a second. Right, that's that one in. Just recheck this one because this one didn't feel particularly. Oh no, it's okay. He's in there. Right, so we'll start the bike up. Hang on, let me just adjust you a second. So we'll start the bike. Now I already tested this. This was at 12.6 on the battery with it not running. So I'll just start the bike. Got that there, that onto an earth, and yes! So I can just bring you in and turn you down so that you can see the reading on the voltmeter. You can see that we are at we are at 14.12, which is absolutely spot on voltage range, exactly where it needs to be. So that is a very well sorted out Harley Davidson finally, and a very happy Cunning Man. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video comes out all right on by editing it on my phone, and I hope the quality of the video is okay too. Give me some feedback down in the comments below if you think that the video quality was okay. If you want to comment on how I've done as well, you can, but you don't need to. All right, so thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully you'll join me for some more projects because it's all exciting stuff and I love doing it. But I will catch up with you soon. Thank you very much for watching. See you again.